Philip checked his watch for the 10th time in as many minutes. 4:05 p.m. Julia was late. He leaned against the ancient oak, its gnarled branches offering a sliver of shade against the late afternoon sun. Central Park buzzed around him. Tourists snapping photos, joggers pounding the path, children shrieking with laughter near the carousel. A perfect autumn New York tableau. And he was here, waiting, anxiety a tightening coil in his body. He wasn't sure what he expected after last night. The raw honesty, the unexpected passion, and the nagging, undeniable evidence of her relapse. He told himself he was a doctor, that he dealt with addiction every day. But this was different. This was Julia. Finally he saw her, weaving through the crowd, her vivid blonde hair a beacon in the sea of faces. She was wearing simple clothes now, jeans, pullover, jacket, her usual edgy style softened this time. He felt a surge of affection, quickly tempered by a renewed wave of concern. 5 minutes late, he said, trying to keep his tone light as she approached. Julia winced. Sorry. Got caught up. She didn't elaborate and he didn't push. Hope you won't be late for the session today, he teased, nodding toward an elderly couple strolling by. Let's try to look, normal. Wouldn't want to become the latest gossip in the group. A flicker of annoyance crossed her face, but she masked it quickly with a small smile. Right. Let's be normal. They walked in silence for a few moments, the comfortable rhythm of the park a strange backdrop to their charged conversation. So, Philip began, last night was intense, Julia finished, her gaze fixed on the path ahead. It was. I want to see where this goes. If you're open to it, I'd like to date you. See if this is something real. He held his breath, waiting for her answer. Julia stopped walking, turning to face him. I want that too, Philip. But you need to know what you're getting into. I think I have a pretty good idea, he said, his voice gentle. Now tell me about last night. She looked confused. What about last night? I know you did cocaine in the bathroom before we. He trailed off, unwilling to say the words aloud. Her cheeks flushed. Okay, fine. I did. So what? Her voice was defensive, bordering on hostile. So why? He asked gently. Why, Julia? She avoided his gaze, kicking at a loose pebble. I was excited, nervous, felt right, and I wanted it to be perfect. Philip sighed. He understood the twisted logic of addiction, the craving for that artificial perfection. Julia, I know it's hard. I know quitting is a battle every single day. But you have to fight it. And I want to help you fight it. He reached out, taking her hand in his. Her skin was warm and slightly clammy. I know, she said, her voice softer now. It's just. Sometimes it feels impossible. It's not impossible, he insisted, squeezing her hand. And you're not alone. I'm here. A pause hung in the ether, thick with implicit emotions. Okay, she said finally. Okay, I'll try. That's all I ask, Philip said. So, about tonight. I know you have your band rehearsal and then our group session, then your gig. Yeah, rehearsals at 5, group session at 7, gig at 9. Busy day. What time will you be done at the concert? He questioned. Around 11:12, I guess. Depends. Why? Her eyes narrowed slightly, a hint of suspicion in her voice. I was thinking, he said, trying to sound nonchalant. Maybe after the gig we could grab a drink? Some food. Just talk. If you won't be too tired. A slow smile spread across her face. I'd like that. Meet me after the concert. I'll text you when. He grinned, relieved. Perfect. I'll be there. He pulled her into a hug, a long, lingering embrace that spoke volumes. He felt the stress ease from her body as she melted against him. He tipped her chin up and kissed her. It was a hot, passionate kiss, a promise of something more, a silent vow to navigate the treacherous waters ahead together. Finally they broke apart, breathless. Julia checked her watch. I gotta run. Rehearsal time. Go rock that stage, Philip said, his eyes following her as she hurried away. He watched her disappear into the crowd, a tangle of conflicting emotions swirling inside him. Hope, fear, desire, a deep-seated need to protect her, to help her heal. He started walking towards the park's exit, his steps lighter than they had been just moments before. He had a long way to go, but he was ready for it. As he walked back through the familiar streets of the Upper West Side, Philip wrestled with the complexities of what he was doing. He knew, intellectually, that getting involved with a patient was a breach of professional ethics. But Julia wasn't just a patient. She was something more. He arrived at his apartment building and let himself in, immediately heading to his small home laboratory in his living room. The vials and beakers, the complex formulas and chemical smells, were a familiar comfort. He needed to focus, to keep his mind from spiraling into the unknown. He needed to work on the vaccine, the potential antidote to addiction that occupied so much of his time and thought. He told himself he was doing it for humanity, for the countless souls trapped in the grip of cocaine addiction. But deep down, he knew he was doing it for Julia. He busied himself with his research, losing himself in the intricate world of molecules and reactions. But even as he worked, Julia's face kept flashing in his mind. The vulnerability in her eyes, the tremor in her voice, the untold but desperate plea for help. He knew he was taking a risk, a huge risk. But he couldn't turn away. He wouldn't turn away. He was in love with Julia, and he was determined to save her, even if it meant risking everything.